Good morning. How are you all doing?
We're Pierce Bros Coffee Roasters. We've been in business for 27 years. April will be 28 years.
He's Sean.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm Sean.
I'm Darren.
One of the owner, my brothers. This is Darren. A family-run business.
Started in the basement of the parents' house.
All of our staff, a lot of them have been with us for years. Dan, our IT guy, he's been with us. He did his internship with us when he was in college, and then applied for the position a couple years later and got the position. So he's been with us for 2 years now, right, Dan?
Yeah.
And Dan's in the corner over there. He's our tech guy.
We've owned cafes. We've had kiosks. We designed mobile units that we placed in high traffic areas to try to promote our coffee that we wholesaled. We went on the road and did a lot of concerts. We were one of the first drive-through cafes in New England. Coffee is just one of those great things that we wanted to start a business together, and we've always tried to do something a little ahead of the game. And 27 years ago, coffee wasn't even on anyone's radar. It was before Starbucks had made the jump across the country. So we've always been fair trade. We've always been organic, but we're always trying to do the next thing, the fourth wave of coffee. And air roasting is that wave.
The difference, the two roasters is the drum roaster and the hot air convection roaster. We're the hot air convection roaster. So the best analogy would be popping popcorn in a frying pan, which is the drum roaster, and an air popcorn popper. We're the air popper.
The chaff, which would usually end up in your cup and give it a bitterness or a high acidity, is blown away while the beans are floated on a bed of hot air.
The end product does not upset your stomach. It's not burnt, not bitter, and you're not drinking the soot that is left on the bean in a drum roaster. Our coffee never catches on fire.
By controlling the temperature of the air that is floating on, we control the actual bean temperature itself, and every single bean is roasted exactly the same. So it's about consistency, it's about flavor, and without having to compete with the burnt bitterness of the soot and ash, it's a cleaner tasting coffee.
We are 100% organic, 100% fair trade, kosher certified company. We've been that way for 25 years. You're going to yield a different taste from every bean because every bean's grown in a different region, different soils, different altitudes. We only source the highest grade of Arabica beans, and that's 2,000 or above sea level. Because of that, you're going to get a different taste. So we roast it individually, and then we blend it to get certain tastes that we're looking for, just like a fine wine.
Yep.
Mixing different grapes from different regions. And that's why we do it that way. Most companies, larger companies, will do it all together, roast it all at once to save time and money, and they're really not concerned about that part of it.
And we work with pretty consistently the same farms in year in and year out. A lot of direct sourcing. We work with one company that brings the coffee directly from the small farmer. And by being fair trade, we're guaranteed we work with a lot of small co-ops that then share infrastructure, they share equipment, they share through the fair trade programs. They're smaller individuals that work together as a team. It's grown in a very responsible way, and then we guarantee that the farmer gets the best price for his coffee, and it guarantees that we get the best coffee. It's a great relationship. When the market drops below a certain level, we guarantee that the farmer is going to make a steady income and a higher percentage of profits.
You'll hear about the market and the green beans coffee's gone way down. Well, massive companies aren't fair trade. They reap the rewards and the farmer doesn't. So because we're fair trade, the farmer is still getting paid a fair market value.
And they've got an economic stability so that they can plan for the future. What that means is they go into the country and they pick who they're going to work with. They've got to meet certain criteria. They help them get their loans. They help them build their businesses, their cooperatives. They help them train them on how to run sustainable projects. So they do that. But they also come to our facility and look at our records. It's a third-party audit. So if we're saying we're selling fair trade coffee, they come and look at what we purchased, our contracts, and they compare them to what we say we're selling. And they'll sit here for a good 2 days and make sure all of our numbers are correct. The other thing they do is based on a percentage of sales or a percentage of coffee, we pay them money for every pound that we sell as well. So we actually, through our investment of our audits, send them yearly or quarterly checks that then help sustain them as a company so they can do their audits, so they can travel in country and certify and audit the farmers. Farmers can lose their fair trade audit. By us being fair trade certified, we're guaranteeing on our label that everybody's getting what they expect to out of the chain from the farm to the cup and back again. If you're fairly traded, or if you say you believe in fair trade organizations or you support fair trade, that is not the same as being a member of a fair trade organization. When you use the term like fairly traded, it's not certified. You're basically hurting the farmers that you're trying to support because you're watering down the certification and you're not giving the consumer what they think they're getting.
I'll talk about the Arabica. There's Arabica and the Robusta. Robusta is grown at sea level. They don't really take care of the coffee tree or plant. They basically shake it. They harvest it differently. Where Arabica is grown, high above sea level, and the beans are hand picked. It's just a higher quality bean, and they're lower. They tend to be lower in acidic and lower in caffeine levels. A Robusta bean is a lot of companies go with the Robusta because it's so inexpensive, but very acidic. It's high in caffeine, and it's not certified organic or fair trade.
Part of the reason you have to pick the beans by hand is a coffee plant is very unique. It's one of those. It has flowers and ripe fruit on it at the same time. So that you go through when a lot of beans are ripe, you go through and you only pick the ripe ones. If you didn't hand pick it, Robusta, they take the tree and they shake it and everything just falls off. So you got stuff that's under roasted, twigs, underdeveloped, overdeveloped. So by hand picking, it's very laborsome, but it guarantees that they're getting the freshest, most beautiful beans and leaving the other ones for a second run or third run until they're ready to be picked. One coffee bush only produces 1 pound of coffee a year. So if you think that coffee is the highest traded commodity after oil, it's pretty amazing the labor that goes into it.
All the green bean and the small farmers we work with, that coffee's grown in the forest, so they're not depleting the forest.
I was going to say the most important thing for a lot of these regions is to keep the ecology of the environment in tune, because like anything, it's you don't want to go in and start strips, putting in too many coffee plants. You don't want soil erosion. The other thing too is they'll integrate cacao or chocolate plants in the same region with bananas, so when they're harvesting that they can be multiply harvesting other
and a lot of these organic farms, they'll have bee farms too, which help pollinate all their plants, and they at these farms they're taught to be sustainable, so not depleting the forest, not killing birds, etc. And they'll have worm farms above ground, and when they depulp, because it's a fruit, it's a cherry, when they depulp it and take the 2 beans out, which a healthy cherry will have 2 beans in it, that's introduced back into the soil.
Sumatra is one of those beans where they do a wet process instead of a dried washed process. So basically
Describe that, yeah.
The Sumatra beans are processed a little differently. They leave more of the natural fruit on the bean. They don't wash and scrub them as much as they do in Central and South America. They're more wildly grown.
More chaff on them.
A lot more chaff. But the actual fruit being left on the beans gives it a more full-bodied flavor too. And what's crazy, it really is like wine. You got volcanic soil, you got lots of different conditions. It doesn't rain a whole lot very high up, but you do get the moisture from the morning mists and stuff coming through. So coffee plant is pretty cool. It'll grow, and then when there's no water, it'll slow down, and it'll grow more, and then it'll slow down. So it's very adaptive.
Been hard on us, on our staff. I mean, it changes all the time. With the whole going on right now, lockdowns coming again. So it's hard to for everybody. Me and Darren, our employees. Our employees have families. We've basically worked really hard to keep everybody employed this whole time, and we had one partial layoff where we laid people off part time and then brought them back full time. And it's hard for everybody out there. It's what's going on in the world. We've slowed way down because we've a lot of accounts have either closed or have shut down or just in a holding pattern until things change. Or
we work with a lot of universities and colleges and office buildings, and everything's really on hold. Everybody's breath is just being held right now. Yeah, we haven't had one case, which is pretty amazing too. Yeah,
and their extended family. So to follow COVID standard, I mean, we're already a very clean facility, but we still keep track of when we clean at the end of the day and throughout the day. So like any company,
Online e-commerce become more of a platform for you?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have much of a presence in that. It's been hard to get that. We're pretty close to having that done. So we're gonna have a whole brand new web. We have a partial website right now. What's it called, Dan?
It's Pierce Bros Promos, PROMOS.com.
And that's what Dan developed during this process so we can keep moving.
Yeah.
But we're trying to grow that even more and more because a lot of places were already had a good presence, so they just expanded on that. Where us, it's been hard. That we're passionate, that we give back a lot. In fact, we've been working with the food bank for over 20 years now. March, the local radio station, The River, and the whole purpose is to show people that the importance of giving back and raising, especially this era. I mean, so many people right now are struggling just to put food on the table, and it's still going to happen. And we've always been a part of that. We donate a lot of time and money to that. We have radio ads going on right now about it. We're sponsoring this show in the morning. That's one thing that's really important is always to, no matter where you go in life, to always give back.
Being a local company, being a small company, and buying local keeps the money local and keeps the economy going locally. So when you're buying, products that come from, Texas or California, not only are you supporting someone that the money never comes back here, but it also has to travel from over there. So the environmental footprint gets larger. So we try to focus on New England. If we can't get there within an afternoon's drive out and back, it's pretty much our territory.
Can I jump in? You can cut me out
Go
here.
right ahead.
I just want to say,
This is Dan.
these guys care about people. They care about the students. They care about their customers, their clients. They'll bend over backwards for anyone, and they really do. And I'm not just kissing up to them. They care. If there's one word for it, they're good. They're good people.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm not cutting that out. That was great. Thank you so much. All right. Have a great day. Okay.
You too. Have a nice holiday.
Thank you. You as well. Yeah. Happy holidays. All right. Bye, guys.